Are we on the internet yet? Alright, welcome back to another episode of Roll for Story with these lots. So, last session was an interesting one. You guys finally defeated the bee queen and made it out of the the honeycomb hive alive. But who wants to do that little recap?
I'll go for it.
Hey.
Right. So, quick recap. So we killed the queen, weren't able to get much loot off of her apart from her wings, which were eventually fed to Llewellyn's book. We blew up the hive and navigated our way out. Kashan and he discovered a new technique known as the kitten arrow, I believe, or something like that. Involves levitation and things like that. It's quite impressive. Be interesting to see if another monk could throw Kashan back. You could have an interesting game that way. Anyway, so we did that. We managed to get out without anyone dying. Bonus points. Navigated our way back to the Borzo tribes camp, I think they're called. The little guys who think we're slaves, but good news from all our efforts, we're no longer slaves, we're now honorary hunters. But it turns out that we still can't go to their sacred place where they go to worship the moon, but it sounds like the place we want to go. Or Kashan wants to go, I don't really care. We then went back to our ship after getting a magic item, which turned out to be a pearl of power, I think. Went back, got this alcohol brewed up in like the fastest time ever. The Steinhammers have some secret techniques that they won't share, and they're a bit mean for it. Made the drink called the Stunning Strike, which was fruity, strong, and fiery, but it had a nice sweet finish. Most of the crew liked it. I think one of the lizard folks said it tasted like the time they ate a Venomancer yarn tea, and another one likened it to their cleaning solution. But other than that, we've decided to we're going to sail round down here rather than tramp across the jungle to get to the northern side of the island, where there's supposed to be this plateau place, and that's where we'll find the Siggy leaves, or elves. That might be the reason that there are giant evil wasps that want to stab people and inject them with their young. Maybe. I think that's about it. If I've forgotten anything, blame Llewellyn.
No, that sounds like it. Quite on point. Even down to some of the real nitty-gritty description details. I like it.
Those bits just stuck in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
I think the Venomancer purely because my immediate thought was that they'd been eating Hestelia and I was upset. She wasn't a Venomancer, but that's where my mind went.
What happened? Stelia after she escaped. Anyway. Guys, we are a sail and the wind is a blowing, waves are a splashing. Captain Montipot stands at the head of the ship, overlooking the ocean.
Yep. Oh, right. Steinhammer, can't think of your actual first name. Begins with an R.
Rander,
that's the one. So you say you're the 12th best brand in the multiverse, right? Something like that?
Aye.
How would you go between the universes?
Well, that's a little known secret to our brewery. You see,
it's a trade secret.
It is. There are, well, we do study the magic, the arcane. Obviously, we did brew up the Stunning Strike fairly quickly, if you notice. And,
yeah.
Time, you see, is a close relationship with space. So Have you ever heard of the spacey wacy timey wimey school of magic?
No, but that does sound. Llewellyn, didn't you mention something about some magic guy who dealt with time and space at one point?
Yeah, sorry.
Who your robes belong to? He'd probably know more, or Llewellyn might know more. I don't know. It's magic. So
The robes don't belong to him.
Sure they do. Finders keepers.
No, I mean they don't belong to.
Well,
What's his name?
Terry.
Terry presented
Terry.
it to your master librarian person. So, I mean, if a student dies, right, just hypothetically, and you'd given them a present, does the present go back to you? Or does it stay theirs and goes into their will?
But she's not dead.
She's not on this plane of
Technically,
anything. Time zone, whatever you want to call it.
Alright, but when she turns up and she's inside the same robes while you're wearing them, don't come complaining to me.
Well, that sounds like a really good way to get to know someone really fast in the wrong way.
Right, and she's angry enough as it is.
I mean, if she's in the same robes, then we both have a set of robes. What's the problem?
No, I mean, she'll turn up in the robes while you're wearing them.
Well, that's a very quick way of getting personal.
Yeah. Though
My brain hurts.
Though
I'm supposed to be smart now.
Though we're not 100% sure, at least I'm not. I honestly don't care enough to be 100% sure that the robes are this anchor. It could be the egg.
We don't know about the egg.
Well, we've just... Well, actually, yeah, this has a point.
I know Kashan has an egg, but I didn't know that they found it with the robes.
I was going to
Yeah.
say,
All I
Kashan,
know is that the robes.
Kashan kind of just like waddles in and just goes, has like a bowl of food, sits down beside you guys. Oh, I just put Egbert down for his nap. Oh,
I'm
this
pretty
is
sure-
exhausting.
I'm pretty sure I've mentioned the egg a few times.
I mean,
What type of egg is he, anyway?
A precious one. Why?
That doesn't like his nap.
I mean, you don't know what's inside it.
It's true. I'm guessing,
I
like,
don't know.
you're...
I haven't exactly thought about it. I mean, Chris, would I be able to gauge because of the amount of time that I've spent with it? You're muted.
You are muted.
Oh, with the egg. And what are you trying to determine with the egg?
What type
What
of
it
egg
is.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, a mysterious.
I mean,
But like, would like I be able to tell, having worked in the library? Like, there would have been catalogue books, right?
No, would
yeah.
I know because of how much time I've spent with it? I mean, we're bonding. He's my son.
I mean, in theory,
Child.
could you not
Or daughter.
could you not use that X-ray shirt and look into the egg?
oh, yeah!
Don't you even think about
Do it!
Have you any
Getting
modesty?
the X-ray shirt out.
Do you not want to see your child?
Yeah, let's find out what it is.
I
I
mean,
didn't know what tobacco-laid eggs, to be honest.
Right.
All right.
I mean, right. Before you definitely say no, Kashan, and I can sort of see your reasons why. Wouldn't it be a good idea to know what's in the egg so that when it eventually hatches, assuming it does, you'll know how to raise it? You can look it up and be ready. Because it could hatch into the next Tarask, for example.
I mean, what if it's a mini Malone?
Then I shall care for him how I can.
Does your master lay eggs? What kind of being is your master? Does she lay eggs? He lay eggs?
No, why would... She's an elf. Why would she lay eggs?
Do
I
elves
mean,
lay
she
eggs?
could
That
be,
is her egg, right?
she could be a draconic soul sorcerer. Maybe that corrupts you enough to make you able to lay eggs.
It's not... Wait, it's the Megasis egg?
Hmm?
It was in the same chest.
No, it wasn't.
Was it or wasn't it?
Kishan.
Insight check.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna quickly roll a deception. Oh fuck. That's really good.
It's gonna be a mini Magus Malone.
Oh wait. Fuck. I have a +3 in deception. What?
And I have 0.
So Kashan just kind of like, and like, you blink and he's gone. And yeah, Chris, I want to use my action, my bonus action, my
What if?
feline agility, and I'm running to Egbert.
Running.
What?
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna go after you. I'm just like, wait, you mean you found the egg with the robes? So
What if the anchor is one of the 2,000 gold coins we found? It could be any one of them.
I mean, if
Mama would
anything,
never place much value on coinage. It would be either the robes or if the egg was hers, potentially that too. But
That was worth a try.
but the egg is just an egg. I mean, he's not just an egg. He's a precious.
He came from a giant chicken.
like, I'm not gonna try and take it away from you. But like, it would have been nice to be told. Do you not trust me?
I met you like a week ago.
It's been a bit longer than that
And
now.
I've saved your life.
Yeah, it's been about a month.
Okay, it's like, hello, strange lady who I have met only a week ago. Here, have my child.
I mean, if Irina was careful, she could help with the incubation, maybe.
What, she would sit on it?
No, I was thinking more of magical heat, sort of her thing.
No.
Oh.
But not to like super over the top, just like a like keep it warm in cold climates.
I'm gonna go and sit somewhere else.
Excuse me, and
I-
Krishan just kind of like pulls up his sash and he's like tucked in after he sprinted away and got him.
I'm walking away
I
from
got-
you lot. That's betrayal. That's
I got this, and I lift up my robes and I start walking over to Kishan. I'll heat that sucker up.
Don't you fucking dare. I mean,
I mean, I don't know how eggs work. I'm a farmer, I suppose, is the closest you can get. Or
So you
weather
raise
worker.
chickens?
No, I raise plants.
Oh. Can plants lay eggs?
I mean, not
Eggplant.
that I know of.
They can raise eggplants.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard of eggplants.
I mean, we mostly grew tea for that Three Island Kingdom, Donrag, or whatever how you pronounce it. Always struggle with that.
Don't know.
But yeah. Well, I say I'm a farmer and I just make sure the weather's good, and then I also sell at the market.
I bet you would have made a lot of money back in Weep. The weather is rubbish.
Yeah, but they also hate magic, so magically altering the weather probably not the most appealing to them. I mean, just arriving myself, I wasn't the most appealing to them. I mean, I'm not exactly the most normal humanoid looking. Even less so than the Tabaxi, who's a cat person. I'm like demon, devil.
you are pretty freaky, Carius.
We get
I
that.
know.
You hear the
What?
lizard folk speak up. It's like, yes, we get that.
Yeah, I can imagine, though,
We most stay on boat.
I get that. No. I mean, you're like jungle climate, but I think you've said before, but I'm guessing wheat was like a bit colder than you're used to, I guess. So,
Yeah. Far too cold.
so do you like? I might as well just ask: are you more like the hot and dry or the hot and damp sort of lizard style?
I'm hot, he's dry.
Fair.
And he just
Fair.
points to his, points to Lime.
Well, at least one of you will feel at home if we go to the Clawed Coast, I suppose, at any point.
I would very much like to visit. It's well, it's been a place that it sounds gorgeous. I mean, it's definitely completely out of my comfort zone, but it
Yeah,
sounds like a nice holiday.
And I've
If you like sand.
yeah.
Well,
And I've promised to help.
I don't like
Andy out.
sand. It's
so-
itchy and coarse and it gets everywhere. Wait, no. That's just a quote I heard somewhere.
What a lie.
I mean, if I didn't like the desert, I'd be pretty out of luck. I mean, I live in the desert. Or near the desert. I'm more on the coast.
and what about you,
Coast to
Llewellyn?
coast.
Do you know what I think? I've travelled with you for so long, and yet I don't think I've ever asked about your home place. You've only talked about the doom and gloom, but there surely must have been some beauty to it.
I mean, it's a nice place, apart from the doom and gloom. I mean, everybody has like huts either on the ground or in the trees, and at night you can see the lights from the huts like sparkling off the snow as it comes down upon the trees.
I always wanted a tree house when I was younger, but we never grew big enough trees.
Smell of burning flesh on the.
Yeah, smell of them.
So what you're saying, Llewellyn, it is a great place. Just take the people away and you'll have a great time.
Yeah, great place, fucked up values.
Yeah.
But-
I am looking forward to going back to the Clawed Coast. I'm not really looking forward to going home.
How so?
So, you was asking back to my story. So
Yeah.
you were asking about how do we get around? Well, it all started with one of my great ancestors. Name was Hagen Steinhammer. Let me tell you, he was an accomplished wizard. He knew how to brew the finest of beverages, infusing it with magic, arcane energy. But he didn't stop there. He needed to know more. He needed to spread the art of his brewery to other places, to other worlds. He actually originates from another world entirely. Us Steinhammers, we're not native to this material realm, shall we? Actually come from a place called Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
Indeed.
That sounds a horrible place. It sounds wet. Overly
So
so.
wet.
It's almost like I guess you could say it's like a reflection of Weep itself. Many material planes seem to share a common trait. But anyway, it was he, the fez-wearing, mustachioed Hagen. He's the one who started it. And he traversed through a magical well and ended up finding other worlds.
Oh well.
Aye.
I mean, I've heard of trash cans you can go in and you go to new worlds. But not wells.
Side note in my campaign is the trash cans that are portals.
That's preposterous.
It is not.
Well, each to their own. All I know is that he built up a brewery around that well he found. And he was able to hop in and out of other material planes. And that's how he became the 12th best in the multiverse. Because them damn Afriti in the City of Brass hold number 1. He shakes it.
So, you say... this is purely just me getting my head around. You say you're the 12th best in the multiverse. Have you had competitions with, like, all the breweries in all the multiverse?
Oh aye, there's a staging ground for it. Where all the best brewers come together. It's a massive drinking competition. It's like Yeah, it's like a brew fest. Or
Is that on like
Oktoberfest,
its own separate plane, like the plane of alcohol?
precisely.
So, how do you mix arcane into your alcohol? Because to me, it just sounds like you use prestidigitation, which is very easy to do.
No, that only lasts a few minutes. This is actually infusing it. Many people have picked up the art. I think there's a lot of cookomancers out there nowadays. Although they're quite rare, they need to be protected at all costs. Met a chap named Glue Tenfrey.
Damn it!
God damn
I was just like, don't do it!
He's quite rare.
He's
But,
like,
um,
"Good."
History check. I want to know if I've ever heard of this guy.
Okay.
By chance,
Yeah.
did he? By chance, did he die in a place called Barovia?
Out of character, Chris, was it only
wow.
of the hut party? Was it only Hestelia who saw the Well of Many Worlds that we sent the pseudo dragon back or the Fey dragon back through? So I remember because I remember Hestelia seeing that, but
Definitely
I can't remember if anyone
Hestelia.
did.
And I can't remember. I think Glory opened the door and then just closed it. It was like, nope, don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it might only be Hestelia who actually bared witness. Did the Tan see the well?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went through it, didn't
Oh yeah, of course they did. Yeah, that's how they ended up in the Feywild.
I'm sat here like, yes. Do
Yeah.
you not know the turns aversion to Wells
Yes.
by now? There's something
So-
wrong here.
Laftral and the Tan both know about the Wilders.
Mhm.
But neither of them are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither Hestelia.
With an 18, Llewellyn, you do know of a Glue Tenfrey, but as renowned as he was for his cooking magic, unfortunately, he up and went, just disappeared from his humble abode. Some say he went on a travel to unlock more recipes, perfect his craft. Perhaps he went to a distant land.
Of the world.
Yeah. I think he was also perhaps even to some say there's a legend that he started to pursue the legend of the magic noodles, which is one of the rarest recipes in all of the multiverses. So it's likely he went to do that, but no one can say for sure. His disappearance is shrouded in mystery.
Alright. So once again, Randa.
Aye.
So if you use your secret magics to make your booze quick and make it better, right?
Aye.
Now, is that magic that you've studied, or is it like raw magical power that you developed over time, or is it like some nature worship?
Oh no, very much studied. It's a wizard who Hagen was the first of his kind, and that information was passed down, and we were taught it as we grew. And
So does that
I
mean
believe,
your spell book is more of like a menu.
aye, it's a recipe. It's a formula. In fact, it's a formulaic spell book. Whereas I believe the likes of Glue Tenfrey had a recipe spell book.
Well, takes all sorts to cast, I suppose. I wouldn't mind traveling to other dimensions. Or universes. That sounds fun.
If I'm honest, I think this one that we're in at the moment is perfectly big enough for myself.
Eh. I bet there's a universe where I can go really, really fast. That sounds fun. That way gravity's not quite as strong or something.
Why?
You could try the elemental plane of air. Probably have a blast in there.
That sounds amazing. Right.
I don't know why I actually questioned about going really, really fast.
I mean, that's kind of...
Very fast.
Who said that?
So
My
you
past is catching up.
So going back to the fact, you are trying to find your egg.
Yes!
Yeah, I mean you find it. It's exactly where you left it.
Oh, no, no,
Softly
no. I
blanketed.
have my egg. But...
Check.
Why, what were you going to say?
No.
Why? Well, I check my egg over.
Check it over, and there's still just a few cracks in it from where you was getting crushed. Do you remember? Or was you
Yeah.
crushed? But you were like grappled and restrained at one point. As you felt your bones cracking, instead the shell cracked in its place.
I'm concerned. I'm a concerned mama.
X-ray it. X-ray it. X-ray it.
I mean, you would be able to see if it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you want to see if your little baby is okay?
I mean, I have heard doctors who use X-rays for medical procedures before.
No, because what happens if it's something that's like big and you're all trying to attack it at the same time?
Oh.
And then...
We're not gonna attack it.
We could call it, instead of an X-ray, an eggs-ray.
I like it. I love it.
Right. I have as much of a good one that was. I think
Right.
that if we are going to do this, I need the shirt and I want you all to leave the room.
Are you getting changed?
I mean, yeah. Karis is just like, whatever. And no, actually, I've got spare spell slots and stuff. I'm just going to cast Fast Step and teleport out.
Okay, Andy can stay.
Okay.
I cast Greater Invisibility and I pretend to leave the room.
I mean, it is kind of my X-ray shirt, so... Sorry, X-ray shirt.
Thank you. And as soon as everyone's left the room, I'm going to close the door.
That's fine by me.
Right? So you close the door. It's just you and Andy. You hold the X-ray shirt. You're not sure which way around it's supposed to go.
She's probably gonna try and, put it on it like it's a t-shirt.
Also, I'm just going to quickly search
Well,
something.
That's probably makes sense, as that was the only time you ever saw it in action. When one of the monkeys tried to steal it.
That's
And
not true. She's seen Tan use it.
that's true. But when the monkey put it on, he saw that through himself, and he was just kind of like this disembodied head and legs running around. So you're placing it over the egg, right?
Yeah.
And it's got a little kind of round belly to it, it seems.
Okay.
And just the top half of the egg pokes out the neck where the collar is. And it seems as though the shirt isn't quite doing anything just yet.
Yeah.
You get the sense that as you was putting it on, you feel some sort of working when you was in
Yeah.
contact with it.
I want to just put my ear to it.
As you put your ear to it, you suddenly notice that from where your ear is pressing against it, it suddenly pushes outward. There's this magic sort of evaporating the outside of the egg. But it's doing so without sound, without any kind of, I guess, harm to the actual egg. Like as if you are simply just peering behind a door. So the glassy surface, kind of more like this organic porcelain, suddenly starts disappearing away, and you start to see into the actual egg. And I'd like you to make a perception.
I don't know if I want to do this. I kind of want to just close my eyes and...
Okay.
Did you say you can do this?
Perception.
Yes.
Okay.
Me
he
hearing
kind of-
based.
This is
If
your
you're
baby.
He kind of...
Closing your eyes, be hearing.
I want to try and speak to it with my mind and just say, curiosity killed the tabaxi. But I am curious as to where you came from. May I look beyond the shell?
And there is a presence in there that's always there. It never seems to fade or appear, you always sense something protect. And as you listen, feel like a thrum of power, gentle, and sort of almost feels like as if a hand sort of placed on your shoulder, kind of almost reassuring.
Okay.
And you take that as perhaps an affirmative.
Then I'll reopen my eyes. And
Inside, you rolled me a forgot to do Llewellyn's history, but we'll come back.
No! No! With inspiration because I asked for it, or not inspiration, but in fact I have inspiration! I have inspiration right here!
You want to do it?
Yeah!
Go on then. Roll it.
Got one.
Oh,
Go
but
on.
well, it's a 24 anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're suddenly startled and nearly get jumped as you almost throw the egg in the air, and you just barely catch it in time before dropping it on the floor. Been dreadful from that natural one, or maybe even over the side of the ship. Who knows? But anyway, no. We instead you manage to steel yourself and calm your nerves as what you're seeing inside looks to be at first sort of shape of a small it's like curled up kind of form, and you can see the shape, perhaps a round head, a long beak. You can see tiny curled up wings. This some sort of bird-like creature, except instead of seeing like flesh, the texture of it seems to have the glassy or stony type texture. The eye of the creature is simply closed, and it doesn't look like it's breathing or there's a heartbeat to it. It just seems to be, again, slowly pulsating this energy, this presence you've got. And there's lots of colors to it as well. Rather than it just being sort of just a pale-ish color, you can see sort of almost like a wave of color as you're looking at it. You kind of tilt your head and maybe hold it into the light. Maybe it's the light playing kind of tricks on you, but it seems to be shifting and changing color continuously. Very much like an exotic looking bird. The last thing you notice is the tail seems to wrap around and is the only part that seems to have like feathers. And it's wrapped all the way underneath it and then folded back over on top of its head. So it's like almost the tail kind of goes all the way around, full circle. But the tail must be super long to be able to do that. Yeah, and the colors on the end of the feathers be shifting in color.
I've never seen anything like this before in my life, have I?
Most likely no, never. However, Andy, you're in the room. Are you trying to take a peek?
I mean, he was very insistent that everyone else don't. So she's probably going to respect that, and she's looking the other way.
Oh, Llewellyn, you're in the room, aren't you?
First up, greater invisibility. How does that work? Because if he's coming close enough to take a peek,
Yeah,
there's
roll a stealth
no
check.
way.
Roll a stealth check with advantage, Llewellyn.
There is
I'll
no
roll
way.
stealth. I'm fine with trying for this.
You do realise what's going to fucking go.
With
Yeah, I
advantage.
didn't think so.
Oh,
That
wait,
doesn't.
yeah.
That doesn't.
With advantage, because you're
Okay.
invisible. Oh,
Okay.
he beats both your passive perceptions. Yeah, he manages to sneak up, and Llewellyn, you get to take a peek. And you see exactly as I've done. Some sort of exotic bird, but glassy and stone-like, changing in colour. With a very long cold all the way around it.
Kashan just hears a whisper in his ear. Nice bird.
And Sentinel Strike.
I don't care. This is.
Do you actually say that? Because if so, that's gonna give you away.
Yeah, that's a
No,
19.
no, I'm fine with that.
I roll with
Okay.
disadvantage as well because of greater invisibility.
Yeah, well, with disadvantage, but a 19 probably still hits you, I think, Llewellyn.
Shield.
Immediately, Andy, you can hear voices and a kerfuffle. Probably someone
Yeah,
swinging a punch.
this is going on, and she starts hearing, Kashan's just struck out. She's just gonna quickly get the egg and move it out the way.
Okay, as you grab that egg to and bring it to safety as this fight erupts, arcane barriers suddenly popping up. You do get a look at the egg, maybe unintentionally, but I will say that you've seen birds these before. Seen them explored coast. They are exotic desert birds. However, this one seems to be totally different. The others you've seen are natural-looking creatures with feathers, and this one seems to be kind of glassy and like stone-like in shape, as if it's been, I don't know, like a statue, some sort of, or maybe some sort of token has been created of it to represent type of bird. You're not sure. Regardless, you do recognize it, and you've seen them in flight. They're really long tail feathers. Keep going and going, but they're usually used as like messenger birds
Okay.
for like vast long distance.
So can I use my
She'll,
key for flurry of blows?
Oh yeah,
Come on, we've known each other for so long now,
Wait.
and you don't trust me to see a
Feel
Bird
free,
none of
and
to,
those hit.
feel free to say what you needed to say, Andy, while I'm nailing him.
I'm gonna quickly whip off the X-ray shirt and just bundle it in my cloak for now while this is going on and backing off while Kashan's, just going. Pachar!
Yep, he's just punching a arcane shield right now. Each blow seems to reverberate off of. Oh, that's a...
Probably hearing the
Why there's so many? Why do so many hits? Where's my turn?
I'm just baffled at my rolling now.
Considering there's a lot of commotion from in the room, Karis is just gonna knock on the door and just be like, "Are you okay in there?" Or
What the hell do you think you're doing? I asked for privacy.
I think Kashan's lost it.
Kashan, do you want me to come in and get rid of him? 'Cause
Yes!
I'm guessing in there.
Get him out! Get him overboard!
Karis basically teleports into the room to where voices in there. Right, Llewellyn, out.
Captain, prepare the cannons!
I'm the one who gives the orders around here.
Prepare
There'll
the
be
cannons!
There'll be no infighting on my ship.
Just tie him to the mast or something, or tie him from the rigging and just let him dangle there for a bit.
Yeah, let's do that to Kishan.
What
No,
do we
to
do
you.
with the trolley sailor? What do we do with the trolley sailor?
We've known
I
each other.
like that. I will use that.
We've known each other for so long, longer than anyone else, and you don't trust me to see an egg.
No, but I respect your privacy, Llewellyn.
Also, considering the sort of thing you normally do with magical creatures,
I'm
You
not
can
gonna
tell while
harm.
I'm a little bit tetchy around you with it.
I'm not gonna harm his egg, and I only do it to evil creatures.
well, he doesn't want you seeing it. It's his egg. It's up to him. So leave the room.
I really want
Because
to.
I really don't want to get on the captain's bad side, but I
For sure.
will.
I will say, like, Kashan is, like, he looks almost betrayed.
Oh god.
I love how you've got Jurassic Park.
Oh, quick. Goddamn copyright.
I really want to just pop a polymorph as I leave.
Nearly got copyright strike.
We've had a couple of those.
Oops.
On YouTube, anyway.
Oh my
The
god.
algorithms.
Yeah, they're hot for that. They are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hopefully Llewellyn's left.
Oh yeah, I'm still invisible, I guess.
As
Sure.
Oh,
I just-
yeah.
I'll just send him a cantrip message that says, "I'll be watching.
I throw my
Always
chainy.
watching."
I throw Cheney Dave towards the door as he's walking, or as he sends that.
I'm watching, Kashan. Always watching.
I'm just gonna yee.
Carrie's
What is up with the 14s? What is up with the 14s?
You're cursed.
Carrius walks to the door, closes it, and then teleports out.
So I really hope that wasn't loud on the mic. I just realised how much I was shouting. Sorry.
Enjoy your egg time. I don't know. Carrius just wanders off.
It's a beautiful baby.
Kashan goes and picks up egg, but perches on like the bed and just like.
So angry.
Yeah. So is the shirt still on it?
No, I took the shirt off it.
Okay. So yeah, back to having a porcelain like now, having peeked inside. You feel a little bit closer. You feel like, you kind of understand each other a bit better.
Feel warmer. Feel light-hearted. Throat hurts, but we're doing good.
And as much as you're kind of always picturing it as if like, it's your baby and you're looking after it, there's almost a sense that when you looked at it and it's kind of stony glass-like texture, it looked old, it looked ancient, and part of you maybe thinks that it almost sees you as the little chick that it's trying to protect and rear. And it
Just
is
like,
that.
they grow up so fast.
Well, no, remember when you first found it, there was a protective aura that you wanted to protect it, and it kind of echoed that back, and you felt the same sense. It was kind of like this bond made. As long as you protect it, it will protect you. And that's when you started to figure out the magic on it. Duration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say, Jamie? Did you say Llewellyn sends a cantrip message?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, he basically just sent a message saying that I'd always be watching.
So
And,
I
and,
can
and also, it's a nice little baby you've got there.
I can respond back, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
So all you hear is, "You're a dick," and then there's like a pause. Come back in an hour.
Okay. I don't respond with a message, but if Carius is still next to me, you'll hear me just go, "Yes, I am."
Just like this invisible voice next to him just saying that. And Karras just shakes his head and goes, seriously, dude. How has he not yeeted you off a cliff already?
He's tried a few times.
Upon obviously hearing about the egg being with Malone's belongings, and obviously I've wandered away from the group at this point, I probably would have gone into my journals. Is there any mention that I've written down of Malone owning an egg?
Roll me a history.
Ah, yes, the Ballad of Egbert.
16.
Nice.
You don't remember her owning an egg. However, you do remember her owning a bird-like familiar.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I was asking. I was like, is this what I think it is?
yeah. Then I don't even need to tell you. You already know. There was indeed a familiar, but it was very small. It was a kind of, I guess, in some ways, familiar is almost like a miniature version of what you wanted. You've heard of wizards and sorcerers owning sort of, I guess, miniature version of great beasts in the past.
Hmm.
One, instead of like a huge rock, you have a baby fledgling rock. Same goes for dragons. Everyone wants to ride a dragon, but most wizards settle for a pseudo dragon.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to continue sitting there flicking through my journals.
Yeah, you definitely remember the bird was used way to have eyes across the city. She used it for long distance messaging. But she'd always kind of keep it in and out of the pocket dimension.
Yeah.
And from what you remember, it was very feathered. It was a natural.
Yeah, I was like, I was going to check my notes, but it's the wrong notebook. So.
But if Irina was to lay eyes on this, they would know that definitely dark different.
Considering all this is going on, I think Karis will probably go back to Randur because that just seems the most interesting thing to him. At the moment, he really doesn't care that much about the egg. It's an egg.
Sure.
To him, anyway.
God, getting epic in here. The greatest brew is about to be mastered.
I could just imagine almost like Mickey Mouse Sorcerer's Apprentice, like Fantasia scene, like sending songs and stuff up, and Gareth just walks in and all this music's playing, and he's just like, did I walk in at the wrong moment?
More tangerines! Pass me that banana!
I'll chuck him a banana and some tangerines.
Alright. I'm gonna brew another one. Yeah, and I guess you could go about starting brewing your what was it? Your own personalized cocktails.
Yeah, that's what I was going to be basically. I'm like, right, realize I don't have much favor with you in order to call this apart from providing with ingredients, but I was wondering, I mean, you've made this stunning strike for the crew, and it's quite a nice brew, as we settled. Kashan seemed to particularly like it, probably why he named it that. But I was wondering, do you, and I'm sure you do, being like part of the 12th in the universe, could you, purely as like interesting thing, I'm curiosity, could you make a specialized brew for each of the, what are we calling ourselves? The Chiasters, I think it is.
Absolutely, I can. Just tell me what you think embodies each character, each member of your crew.
Well, let me think. I mean, for me,
yourself,
I'm most. I mean, the weather, storms, the sea. That's kind of my thing. I come from a desert culture, so maybe
I can definitely get a blue and cloudy tech drink.
Yeah,
Recreating lightning in a bottle, though? That's gonna be trickier.
And I do kind of like the whole, like, going fast and taking risks. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen me, like, fly up to the sky and literally just jump off a few times. So, something that sort of fits that, you know.
Have you ever heard of a strawpedo?
No, but that sounds interesting. What's one of those?
Well, you like fast, you like speed. You can get these blue beverages. If you get a straw and stick it in, bend over the top, you don't actually drink it through the straw. You just use it so that there's no air glugging up and down. Basically, the idea is to suck the bottle dry until it's empty. And the first person to down theirs wins. You have to down it all in one.
That sounds amazing and my sort of thing. Now, what about the others? I mean, though I'm still trying to not exactly make it obvious, and I think she's trying to do the same. I know Irina wellish, but for the most part, I mean, you've seen it, you've complained about it. Her whole thing is fire. So
That I can do. Definitely knock up something strong. Maybe in a whiskey.
But I'm thinking it has to have some sort of complexity, something to decipher. She's kind of like that knowledgeable, scholarly type, if that makes sense.
Aye. Well,
Llewellyn's a tricky one. I mean, he's uses a lot of like magic. His book eats things. It's weird. He seems to. He's got a kind of. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen him use a necromancy spell apart from Circle of Death, which he sucks at.
Toll the Dead, but that's a cantrip.
Yeah, I mean,
But other than that,
I don't know.
no,
I mean,
not
he's got
really.
like the eye patch and stuff, and he seems to be willing to. He's lost his hand. I mean, he honestly, his book's all creepy. So I'm honestly thinking something creepy and slightly sinister looking, but with like a sweet, like a dark sweetness on the inside. 'Cause overall, I reckon he's a good guy. He's just a bit of a dick sometimes.
Wow.
Might be a tricky order, but that's just the sort of thing that comes to mind. As for Andy, now, from what I've seen, very skilled musician, sort of a childlike wonder, but not. Quite free and likes freedom, particularly one of the people he didn't like being called a slave quite a bit, if I remember rightly.
I can get similar to texture in her cloak.
That would be cool. I mean, when she first activated that cloak, I mean, I thought it was just a cloak. I mean, sure, it looks magical, but so does a lot of things. I mean, the lame in a boat looks magical. I mean, but I mean, it like made stars appear around her collar, and then she formed a bow out of one of those stars and fired things. I mean, a shooting star sounds like a good name for a one.
Aye, I don't know, you're talking. In fact, do you happen to have any silver?
Silver.
Aye, coin.
No, I have a lot. Well, can I say that some of the gold I have is in silver?
Sure, yeah.
Right, so I'll just take that 70 gold to make it 700 silver, and I've got
Oh.
yeah.
Whoa. I don't need that much. Literally just a coin. Just a silver coin.
Okay, let me just work this out a moment. So that'd be put that to 60.
Well, literally only need it for tiny little flakes.
Yeah, so I'd say I've got like 10 silver on me, and I'd chuck him a silver.
Sure. Alright. Yeah, he starts like grinding it and flaking it with a couple of the tools he's got. You're not sure what he's up to. Perhaps it's some sort of component for a spell. Perhaps it's actually going in the drink.
Wait, you can drink silver?
Well, it's not a good idea if you're like a vampire or something. For a
That would be
werewolf.
an amazing way to kill a werewolf. You trick him into getting drunk with you, and then you put silver in their drink. They never expect it.
No, this is just gonna help recreate one of the spells I have to sparkle it up a little. It'll look like a starlit sky. Then
Yeah. I mean, I get the feeling like something light, something airy, but not too strong.
I think it's gonna be a tricky one, but I'm gonna need more fruit.
Well, we can always go fruit hunting. I mean, we've got to go deal with these Siggy Leave elves.
No, who now? What?
Well, you know the little Warzo guy who I think is still on the ship with us, sailing with us.
Yeah.
Well, his people call these elves who sort of seem to blend in with the wood, kind of like they do, Siggy Leaves. Or sticky
Never heard of
leaves,
it.
something like that.
Never heard of it.
It seems like both of their races are really primitive, like almost to the point of ancient tribalism, but the Borzo seem to not like the Siggy leaves because they think the Siggy leaves are causing things to grow too quickly, which is what causes the giant evil wasps that inject their young into you.
Good God, by Meriden's beard. Well, I'm glad I stayed on the boat for once.
Though, that probably is why there's so much fruit, so there's at least some positives.
Aye.
There are also these cute little monkey things, but they're thieves. I don't know what it is with cute things being thieves. It seems to happen.
I think they can get away with it, that's why. And as you look across the deck right now, Rip Dip is tangled up in a knot of rope, and his entire skin and fur texture changed to that of kind of like a frayed knot and rope. And it actually looks like one of the most unique forms he's ever had.
Weirdly, I think that suits him. I always thought he was a bit knotted. Bit of a knotty brain.
He's kind of just entangled in it, and he's like...
I mean, we can't understand him anymore, so he could be asking. I mean, we know some basics, but that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you to your brewing. If you need anything in particular, just let me know. If you need anything from the sea, I'm probably going to go for a swim in a bit.
Well, right, yeah. Well, knock
Maybe
yourself
an
out.
electric eel. I don't know.
Maybe you'd want to talk to Kiwi and Lame for that one.
Right. And with that, Karis will just stride out back onto the main deck and just be like, right. Wonder what everyone else is up to.
What are they?
Irina is currently teaching Andy how to read and write. So we're starting off with everybody's names.
Okay. But she's pronounced it in
She's saying the letters, so it's obviously it's EIRINA. And that's obviously not how Irina sounds, so it's like, oh yeah, that one was not the best one to start with. Okay, let's try this one. Writes Kashan's name.
Oh god, no, that's even worse.
It's not. I
Like
leave out
dramatic.
I leave out the apostrophe.
Okay.
Just like, okay, try this one.
Hold on. Oh, Kishan.
That's cheating. You know the first letter.
But I knew it.
You did know it. Okay, that's fine. All right, we'll try this one, and I'll do Llewellyn, but I'm gonna write loser instead.
La. Oh. Sir. Loser.
Hey,
Okay.
it's short for Llewellyn. That's how. That's like the characters you use for Llewellyn. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't look how it sounds, but that's how you spell it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I mean, in the right language with the right script. I mean, that's technically possible.
Obviously, the way Irina is spelled, it doesn't sound how it looks, and it's the same with Kashan with the apostrophe. So names don't always look how they sound, but that's how you spell Llewellyn.
You spell it like loser. Okay.
Got it. Hey,
What did I just come back to?
so, okay. Next, we're gonna try, and I'm gonna go write Carius's name this time. This one's an easy one.
Carius.
Very good. Okay, now let's try.
Try my name. Try mine. You can
Who's
see
saying that?
the yellow-skinned lizard comes over.
Which one is the yellow one?
Lime.
Kiwi? Oh, lime.
Yeah,
I
Kiwi's the
assume
green one.
lime. Okay, that's fine. Lime's a green too. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'll write kiwi.
What colour is this?
Kitty.
Green with a yellow belly.
What colour is this?
Green but with red bits.
And white belly.
This one's lime.
Okay.
And the other one. Anyway, he says, "Do you mind if I sit in as well and learn?"
Sure. Have a seat. I'm
Okay.
gonna do what I've done for Andy because I've written out the entire alphabet and I've written sort of like the sounds underneath it too. So like how you would say them, and I've gone through each one with Andy. But I've had to obviously explain the fact that obviously my accent doesn't reflect how all commoners say certain letters.
Sure.
Um,
Kiwi steps down and he sort of sits down and squats like a frog.
Okay.
And yeah, he's looking and he's like, "So, wait, how did you spell my name?"
So it's like this, and I'll just put like the obviously Kiwi.
Now, what? He's confused. What's
Okay.
that letter?
So that one's Kiwi, Kiwi.
Lime? That doesn't sound like lime.
You said it was Kiwi.
No, I'm lime. That's kiwi over there.
Okay, then I'll write lime.
You got me to spell my brother's name.
All practice is good practice. It's fine. So yeah, I get him to write lime.
Cool. Yeah, he does. He does this. He ends up spelling it.
Close enough. And then I'll go through numbers, like sort of 1 to 10.
And then he tries to spell his brother. And ends up going Liwi.
Close, but you've got the first letters. You need to swap them round.
Swap them around.
Mm-hmm.
But then that'd be my brother's name.
No. K is for kiwi. L is for lime. So you've got them in the wrong one.
But I'm Liwi, and that's Kaim.
All right, whatever. If you're not going to take this seriously, you can bugger off. And I'll go back to teaching Andy.
She's written her name.
Yay!
Because of course writing on a screen isn't very easy.
Like, does she know how to write her whole name?
Probably not.
Okay, we'll go over that as well.
Okay.
And then I'll teach her how to spell the Kiastas as well, just in case she ever gets lost, because then she can write it down.
Oh,
and...
good luck.
Well, at least if she knows what they look like, she'll know how to
recognize
copy
them.
it, and you know.
But yeah,
You'll be like a blind scribe where they know the letters,
I'm
but they
gonna-
don't know what they mean.
and I'm gonna teach her the words for things that are like really important, like obviously guard station and things like that. So obviously, if she ever like
So she
goes into a city, so if she goes into a city, she knows like the key words, like bus stop, emergency services,
tourist
hospital.
information.
Pet store.
Yes,
Like just
stop.
like the basics, nothing crazy. This is where you get food.
Bank with lots of money that is good to steal from.
Yes.
What? No.
Wait, where are you kind of like doing this?
We're on the deck.
We're up on the deck because, of course, she figured that you'd want to be alone for a bit. So
Okay.
She also thinks the way you spell Lavellan is loser.
apparently that is how it is spelled, but it doesn't sound how it is spelled.
No, that's
Everyone
not
will tell you that it's completely true.
Yeah. It's like yacht.
Yes.
How do you spell yacht?
Oh, we don't want to. That word's a myth.
Oh,
You hear Finzu from the top. His eyes are still closed, but he's got his legs kicked back, and he's got his pipe in one hand. And he just shouts, "Y-A-C-H-T, yacht."
It's literally spelled yacht.
Yeah.
Yacht.
Yacht.
But
Yacht.
you say yacht.
He's
Yeah.
in tight.
Doggo.
Oh my god.
so I just go up to a boat person and say, I need a yacht.
Oh, actually, that's a good idea. Not about the yacht. But I should probably teach you how to spell your dad's name if you're looking for him, because then you could go to a records room and you know what to look for.
That's a good idea.
Okay, I'm gonna teach you how to spell her dad's name.
Cool.
Rahim.
Rahim Al-Amin.
Al-Amin.
Yeah. And then I'll teach you how to spell Smolder too, because she's my friend.
Smolder. Smolder.
Teach her how to spell Snurg.
Oh, I'll also teach her how to spell like violin and tambourine, because she's got both of those.
Jingle plate.
Okay, jingle plate.
Does anyone need anything from the ocean? I'm gonna go for a swim.
Yeah, can you pick us up a packet of walkers on a cornetto?
Like this.
You laugh, but I have heard of a cornetto fish once. Probably a myth, but
Your art almost literally says, anyone needs something, I'm going for a swim. Actually, like he's just about to jump off.
yeah, it's like, this will be the day I go get you fish.
Oh my god. Find me something exotic. I'm curious about the fish in these lands. I haven't actually traveled this far west before, so it'd be interesting.
Find me like a small round stone for my collection.
Any particular color?
Nope, go wild.
Right.
If you see anything I could possibly make into trinkets that I can sell, then by all means. But if you can't find anything, it's okay.
I mean, yeah, I've got just the idea of the thing to look out for. I have no idea if it'll be here, but I will keep my eyes open. And with that, he will remove his fancy-looking top and his plate armor and be like, "All right, cast alter self on self, so I can
cover it bird's eyes.
and then just backflip over the side." Into
Right.
the water.
Roll me a D100.
Oh boy, this is a session where Carius drowns.
I can't. I've got alter self. I can breathe underwater.
Oh shit! 97.
Yeah, it's a good spell.
God.
You get stuck in an air pocket.
Okay. God, alright. As you dive down, well, actually, it's as you're diving, just about to dive over the edge, something huge and solid suddenly scrapes against the bottom of the ship, letting this horrible kind of grinding sound, like, and it's really muffled and deep. Whatever it is, it's probably scraping off the barnacle.
The hell was that? Oh, let's go check it out. And still dives overboard to have a look.
Okay. Yeah, you hear Monty Pot kind of comes out. It's like, what? Sounds like someone's getting keyholed out here.
Well, I'm gonna look and find out.
Alright. Yeah, you dive under the water, and then just as Monty Pot's kind of going over the deck, making sure everyone's alright, he's like, what the? Why is there graffiti on my mast? Andy? Why is your name etched into the wood here?
I am practicing my penmanship.
I mean, I did give her paper and a quill.
Then what do you call this?
I don't know. We've been sat here. Lime did it.
You see Rip Dip suddenly scampers across the deck. Ah! Get back here! Ah!
It was Rip Dip? After
Looks
I
like-
saved your life twice?
Wait a minute. He can write in common, but he can't speak it.
Looks like he may have been eavesdropping in your... he wasn't the only one. Not just Lime was learning, but looks like...
He was
Rip
trying
Dip-
to learn the language.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Exactly, you little fable.
To be honest, that's really not a bad idea.
Shoo shoo, Auntie.
Aww.
Okay, that was kind of cute, but I am gonna kill you.
You can kill him after. You can kill him after he swabs the deck, cleans up this mess. Finzu, get the wood polish. He's like, what? Anyway, alright. As you dive down and into the waves and starting exploring down here underneath the ship. Okay, you know what? I'd like you to tell me what was scraping the underside of the... That's right. I'll let you describe exactly what you see. Because...
I mean, is it meant to be, like, monstrous, or is it meant to be...
It could be anything you want.
Friendly.
Within reason. It's not just
God, right.
maybe
come
it's a
back to me in
statue.
a minute, I will think for a moment.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's like a statue beneath the waves.
That'd be a good time, actually,
Ooh.
if it's been an hour. The Velen.
I mean, I haven't even said what I've been doing for the past hour.
What has the Velen been doing?
I've got one idea of what it could be.
I have an idea, but I don't know if it's... I'm trying to think of something interesting, but...
What about this? What if it is some huge cog wheel is attached to some sort of mechanism?
Yeah, I was thinking some kind of, like, it may be something that was, like, on the island, but, like, a small bit of the island has broke away.
Right, and this has fallen off of...
So this is, like, a ruined, maybe, like, water mill or something under here, or something like that.
Okay,
Or some other technological device, maybe something more advanced looking.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you try to get a good clue as to what this thing is. Seems though the ship is going over the top of it. It's moving slightly, like there's a moving part. Here, a slight screeching as like a rusty wheel is turning. The ship kind of scrapes over it. You see the cog is getting turned and scraping, and that seems to move a large piston sort gets washed in. You see a load of kelp and seaweed is suddenly like sheared away as the mechanism rotates slightly. Whatever this is, it doesn't look like it was supposed to be here. It's half submerged in the actual sand at the bottom, and as it kind of gets moved, you see it slowly kind of turn lopsided in the water. But it's still stuck there. It's so heavily embedded. Now you can roll me an intelligence or an arcana to figure out what the hell this...
Wow, I actually rolled pretty well.
Okay.
18.
So with an 18, you can tell that this was perhaps some sort of farming machinery, because you can tell there are wheels somewhere at the bottom this to perhaps move along the earth, and at the front it looks like perhaps some sort of plow or trowel like device that seems to like be just below the wheels level, which means it must be kind of something for maybe turning the earth.
I just found like a combine harvester, basically.
Yes, except that this one looks far more steampunk, I guess, in nature.
So rather than being like a manual one that someone might use, this appears to be some sort of mechanical one.
That's right.
I'm almost tempted to make a reference here. Because I've got a perfect reference for this moment, but it wouldn't be something Carius could make the reference. Well, this seems pretty interesting. I bet at least some of them up there would be interested. And I've got time. I'm gonna try to dig it out, basically. and then see if I can get it to the surface. I know it's big and heavy, but I have magic on my side.
Okay, sure. That's a good, fair point. Sure, go ahead. What are you planning on doing? Control.
Basically, yeah, I was thinking, essentially, because I should be able to dig it out, because you said it was like embedded in like sand and stuff, just
Yeah.
quite embedded. So it'll take time, and I'll probably need to cast Soul to Self a few more times to just keep it up. But then I was thinking probably use, once it's the boat's a bit further away, using I mean, how big is it?
Almost the same size as what you were saying earlier. Like, picture a combine harvest. It is possible about that.
So then, possibly using, once I've got it free, using watery sphere to basically grab enough of it to start lifting it using that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because that's like
Sure.
a 5-foot radius sphere, so that cover like 10 foot in each direction.
That's true. All right, sure. Yeah, say that's doable. Okay, so Captain Montiport orders the ship to raise the sails. It's going to drift for a bit whilst Carius gets this thing out of here. After about a good 10-20 minutes of excavating, finally you see a huge bubble of water suddenly rise up, and as you try to like peer past the blurry globule, you see a mechanical device covered in rust and seaweed, and it slowly starts to hover towards the deck. You're almost like a makeshift crane, like lifting it up, moving it over, and dropping it down.
Well, I wasn't expecting to find a mechanical device, but it's pretty a cool find. You said something exotic. It looks like a harvester, but it looks like maybe it used to power itself somehow, rather than being like pulled by a horse or something.
Can we still eat it?
I mean, can you eat wood or metal?
No. Kiwi comes up, pulls out a small blade, very, very fast, and then starts shearing off some of the kelp and seaweed.
Yeah, you can have the kelp and seaweed, you can have that. And possibly, because it's been like there for such a long time, maybe there's some fish trapped in it, who knows? Like in bits and bobs of it.
Yeah, you see.
I mean, yeah, Andy, you could maybe use some of the smaller cogs for this as trinkets, maybe, or a bit of the metal. It's actually, considering my guess is that is from when the Borzo at least. Actually, I sort of call over Ripped It. Ah! I'm gonna try to make gestures and hand signs to basically. Actually, Llewellyn, can you do the telepathic bond? I need to talk to Rip Dip.
Yeah.
I know it takes a while, but just wait there, Rip Dip.
Gather in Urg.
Yeah.
So-
Well, in to be fair, in this time that you've been doing that, I probably would have already cast it on him anyway.
Okay, right.
For reasons of what Llewellyn would have been doing.
Right, so Rip Dip,
Tower?
your people had gears and things because they were in your people's treasure box. Does this look anything like anything you know what is? If that makes sense.
It looked like Rusty's.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I thought maybe, like, are there any, like, carvings or anything by your people that might resemble this, or any books, or drawings, or...
Oh. Book? What book?
I will use shape water to create basically the shape of a book in the air. Like this, but with paper. Which is made from, like, plants.
plant brick.
Yeah, sort of like that.
So
It's
strength-
like what Andy was writing on earlier, but in like a block.
I've seen. But if it's plant, you most likely Siggy leaf. Which means you're bad.
Well, books are only as bad as what's in them, I suppose, but some are terrible. I mean, there was this one about vampires, but we won't go into that.
He kind of looks over it, and his claws seem to be scraping away some of the kelp. And you see, as he scrapes across it, you see nuts and bolts seem to like come sheared off by his claws, and you suddenly see them fall to the ground, sort of rolling around.
Well, So all of like the metal looks rusty and stuff. But you said like wooden cogs. Do those look like they've rotted over time, or are they still pretty there? Like they've been like well seasoned wood that doesn't rot too easily. And
Yeah, I guess some of the wood seems to be very well kept. Somehow, as you look at it, it doesn't even look like someone has used wood carver's tools. It looks like almost as if a plant grew into this shape. You know how when you look at a piece of wood, you can still see either the knots or the lines of general direction. Yeah, in this case, it's like the lines actually form the outer cog shape, as if if you cut a tree and you looked at its circles, the circles would be cog shaped.
I mean, Kashan, these islands, right? They're
Sean pokes his head out the cabin.
there were these elves and these gnomes, right, who got on well together, and the gnomes were the tinkerers and the elves were other things, and they got on through
Farmers.
language. That's like your thing, right?
He remembers they were farmers.
Farmers.
And from what Rip Dip has said, these elves have the whole, we encourage things to grow and they're growing too big. Does your book mention anything about them growing stuff into shapes? If that makes sense, or does anyone heard of anything like that?
Well, I mean, in terms of growing things into shapes, they don't really grow something with a purpose. I mean, the plants themselves would take on the shapes of what any kind of like gestures up towards the sun he offers.
Yeah.
Nothing is never intended to be just one thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe actually, see, I can think of something that works perfectly for this out of character. Can I roll a history check just to see if I would be smart enough to work this out? This something.
Sure.
I'm probably not. Nope, definitely not. I'll look at Irina. You're the smart one. Irina,
Hello.
in your studies, have you ever read of any magics, like of people being able to like grow trees into particular shapes? I swear I've heard something about it before, but mind is drawing a complete blank.
Have I?
Roll an Arcana or a hit.
And did it say anything in the books, or was I pretty much on point?
You remember that at one point, however brief it may have been, there was peace and unity between the tribes. They perhaps may have even used their skills together, effectively.
Yeah.
Whereas one was using invention and ingenuity, the other they were farmers and they knew agriculture, knew nature very well. Two could work together using this combination. Yeah. It'd definitely be something you could see like this. For 19. Yes, there is such a spell. that shapes wood and plant life into the wielder's own desire. However, was a magic spell that was since long. You remember that there are smaller ones, very minor. You've seen like druids recreate druid craft, but the spell that would actually shape world, create entire cities, was something at an incredibly high level magic, since been deemed perhaps even too powerful by the gods. I am speaking, of course, of 10th level spells.
Yeah.
There is such a 10th level spell that involved a ritual elf. You remember exactly what name they given it? There was a spell that was able to shape the entire land around it so that trees would grow and create city in the canopy.
Out
And
of
you
character, I've only heard of 10th in Pathfinder 2nd edition.
My Bible
But-
calls bullshit.
I mean, that would make the spells more powerful than Wish in this version. It's mad. Yeah. Okay.
So it's basically like a spell that will terraform.
Yeah,
Ah.
and it would take a great number of elven sorcerers to be able to.
Like the legendary sort of like old cities from like mythology and folklore tend to lean towards it. So these days, not really anyone knows how it was done or how to do it. It's kind of like lost knowledge. It's something
Yeah.
that a lot of the librarians in the capital sort of fawned over.
I mean, because my thought is that based on this and how these cogs look, is that maybe when the tribes work together, the elves use their magic or whatever, maybe in some rituals, to essentially form parts of these purely out of like growing the trees or plants. And then the gnomes then maybe gave them the designs or helped them pull it together, and that's one of the ways they work together. I mean, because you've got what looks like naturally grown gears and machinery seems like the perfect union of their two cultures, from what Kashan said.
Well, of course. I mean, this is exactly how the world back on the continent of forgot the name of works. Midra, that's one. Everywhere you look, you have people who look into their sciences and their magic, and you have people who work into nature and religion. Everything works hand in hand together. If you had too much of one thing and not enough of another, it causes imbalance. It's the same reason as to why there's good people in the world and there's evil, and some people floating in the center. Everything has to work together because, well, we're just one cog in a big machine, per se.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, and this is just me spitballing, that maybe the reason these elves are causing everything to grow so rapidly is that maybe they still have, like, old memories of those rituals, but they don't know quite how they work, and that's why things are just growing out of control. They're trying to do these things because maybe it's in their ruins or whatever that tells them how, but they don't quite get it because of this tribalism that they seem to have gone back to somehow.
Maybe there's something within the ritual area, something that has gone wrong, because I don't believe that the Siggy leaves and the sorry, forgot the name of the tribe.
Borzai.
The Siggy leaves and the Borzai, I don't think that they are separated still. I very much think that they just visit the same place at different sides at different times, there must be something there that is stopping the unity. There is something that is, for lack of a better term, a spanner in the works.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, initially I thought that maybe, no offense, meant that Ladorvu's writings in this case might have been, wrong, but seeing stuff like this kind of adds so much credence to his words that there was such a unity here that had such advancements.
I don't think Ladorvu's words were wrong. And not to say
No, I
that
don't.
I'm not obviously being biased, but I think they're either outdated or overlooked. Because once again, what is written down here, this path that he's taken, that I'm taking, it's a path of enlightenment. It's a path of bringing everybody together, is bringing yourself together. So once again, this must be some simple break just in the system.
Well, I think a simple break in the system that's broken the unity seems likely, but it also, based on this, it seems like something has happened that has almost sent them backwards, almost like a primitive age before they had this unity. Like, almost like they have memories of it, but they've somehow gone backwards.
Well,
Something's happened here more major than just a lack of unity, because
maybe I'm overlooking something then. Maybe a clue was left within the writings. I think I need to study them more, but I feel I need a second pair of eyes. And I know perhaps we haven't... Yeah! I didn't mute myself in time for the sneeze, goddammit! Maybe we haven't known each other for too long, but I feel I can trust
You're cutting up, by the way, really bad.
yeah,
Mike.
you're cutting out a bit for me.
Your
Well,
mic is like...
What, before or after the sneeze?
No, it's before and after.
That might
don't
be a
think
bit
it's-
better. I was just sitting a bit further away.
It's like it goes underwater and then comes out and then goes in. I've got an idea. Go to setting. User setting. Voice
Oh
and
god,
mode.
I just realized. Hey guys, you can see.
Turn off echo cancellation. Turn off noise reduction. Turn off automatic control.
Oh yeah, I actually have those on.
How's
Turn all
that?
of that.
Is that any better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instant.
Right.
Cool, no worries.
I have to turn off those. I have to turn those off every time.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, thank you for letting me know.
You also seem to be breaking up on occasion, Chris. I get most of what you say, but I lose the end.
I think it's just a
normally?
because
sensitivity.
all my Discord settings got reset when
Yeah.
I used my new computer. So
Yeah, I get that.
um,
I'm also getting an echo from Jamie now.
I just did the same thing as you guys.
Nice.
yeah, but your headset probably needs it on.
Yeah.
I'll turn them back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry. Where did you hear up to?
maybe I need 2 pairs of eyes. And I'm guessing you were going to the point of we have a scholar here and pointing to Irina.
No, actually, I was going to say yourself.
I mean, sure.
Just because you seem to know the tech, you're muted, Irina.
Yeah, I forgot I was muted. I was just going to say, I'm just going to sit here smiling and waiting for your explanation, and I'll mull it over in my head while you do so.
Okay,
Karis
so-
is just like, yeah.
he'll ponder on it and just kind of like look over to Irina, look over to yourself, and just kind of like whispers under his breath. Well, she did save my life twice, I guess. Perhaps yeah. Okay. I need to have a talk with our dear Llewellyn beforehand, but I'll give you a call, and maybe we could all sit down, because I don't think I've actually shown this to anyone.
I mean, if you think that's best, I mean, this is your rodeo, as it would.
But
Is that
maybe
the right term?
maybe I'm missing something. Maybe something is blind to my eye that might come clear to another.
Out of character, you have this scroll.
Yeah.
Do you have the scrolls you had before, and it's just the future ones?
I have one. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
my Diamond Saw, I think it was called. Let me just check. Unify. No, Unified Dream is this one.
A Unified Dream would be the Feywild one, surely,
No,
right?
I do have it, but I don't have it written down.
What?
Which one was it, Chris?
Huh? Which one?
Why, Chris?
You've
What
got you've got Temple of Shadow Moon, alright?
You lost all the other ones, didn't you?
Yeah, the other ones are stolen by a goblin named Blot and his accomplice.
Yeah, I wasn't
He literally
sure.
just took
Chico.
all of them, not even the before ones.
Oh, well, didn't you have your ones with you before?
I had all of my scrolls.
Yeah, they would have all been in one place. Yes.
So he took all of them but this one. So in other words, no.
But you have studied them enough to get out of character, to get the relevant stat boosts and stuff from them, so you probably have the knowledge. I mean, so Carius is going to make the suggestion. I mean, is it possible that, and this is really more Irina or maybe even Lavellan sort of thing, but is it possible that in the information in the other scrolls, either the ones you had before or the ones later, there's more hints on this? Like, maybe you've only got, by looking at this one scroll, maybe you're only seeing part of the puzzle.
Potentially. I can try and piece it together. But
It's
I
an
think
idea.
I'll wait. I'll have the conversation with Llewellyn, and then we can take a look at this. And with that, where's Llewellyn been? 'Cause he's been quiet for ages, and I feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah, what's he been up to for the last hour?
Yes.
Sorry,
apart from
dude.
casting Rari's telepathic
It's-
bond.
Yeah, it's been a long thing.
Okay, so Levon,
fine.
what have you done?
I would have called Rip Dip to the room, my room,
Okay,
To
so
have
he
a
comes in.
which is why he would have already had Rary's telepathic bond on him.
And fade
What?
to black.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll fade to black. Cool. All right, and then we'll go back to the other guy. No,
No.
no, joking. Why you won?
I wish to discuss some things with you about your claws.
Mine, my claws. You not steal pudding book.
I'm
He's
not
learning.
going to steal them.
They told me all about you.
Oh my god. Carius is such a gossip.
What did I say about him?
Telling everyone about my book.
I heard him talking to Dwarf Man about what you do.
No, I only put evil creatures in the book.
Evil.
Technically, Carius doesn't know that.
He says you. He says you sort of dick.
Okay. This is besides the point. Do you know what a magical item is?
You mean Rusty?
Yeah, and the stuff they can do.
They sit there and be heavy.
No. They can do certain things, and I'll pull out. What can I pull out that'll actually show them?
Just throw something at Kashan.
God.
He just goes.
Nah, I'll just use my staff of swarming to create like an obscure area for like 5 seconds.
Of bugs, you mean?
Yeah, it's not harmful.
No, stingy, bad.
No,
He starts swiping at the air.
Yeah.
Swiping
And
at your staff.
And that's... Oh my god.
Yeah. Time to destroy another one.
At least it's not one that you particularly care about.
I mean, I do. I care about all my items.
Yeah, what else?
Have you named them, any of them?
Oh, he rolls a natural one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He hits
Well-
himself?
And I stop it. And I
Okay.
stop it.
All right. So he like trips on the boards. Looks like his rope is still his rope. Yeah, his feet are like still kind of like rope textured from earlier, where he was getting tangled, and he suddenly just trips over himself like a wet noodle, and he's like, "Ah! Where's the buzz gone?"
Items can create stuff like that. Those trinkets, like in those chests, can do stuff like that and many other things.
So we destroyed them, so they never summon Buzz again.
No, they won't. They won't all summon Buzz. Some of them can create maybe fire, and I'll do like the fire cantrip, the fire.
Oh, fire good. Fire,
Yeah.
fire good against Siggy leaves.
And then I'll prestidigitate some like sparklingness in the air and stuff. All different things like that. Now your
Help us.
claws,
They help us burn Siggy leaves. Yes.
yes, but your claws can destroy them.
He
The
licks
items.
his claws momentarily.
And your tribe possesses many items that could destroy Ziggy Leagues.
Oh.
But your claws and your tribe's claws are destroying them. So they won't be able to.
Kind of scratches his ear with his claw. And looks at a bit of earwax on the end of it. Claws, powerful
They are very powerful.
and very handy. And he starts picking his nose with it.
However, I
wonder if
have an
That's what happened to his brain.
I have an item that does need destroying because it's very bad. And I pull out the monster book.
The little horror.
What that? Another plant brick.
Yes, but it's a magic one that's really, really bad, and I need you to destroy it. And
Okay.
before he does this, I cast detect magic because I want to see it happen.
Ooh. Okay.
So I place it in front of him, and I say to him, I need you to claw this until it is magically destroyed.
Shing! His claws come out, Wolverine style, and he's like, "Be my pleasure. You hold book, still hold it out, arm's length."
I roll up my sleeves as far as I can.
If
And
you-
I hold the book out.
All right. Okay.
Ooh. Oh god. Oh god, I have no idea what just happened. Ah. Sorry guys, just get us reconnected into that.
Sure.
Sorry,
right.
would you be able to repeat the last 10 seconds? For some weird reason my Discord decided to swap to my phone.
Okay. Lovely. All right. So, as though Llewellyn has found a way to perhaps destroy a evil tome that he has once held all the way from Baba Yaga's dancing heart. This was owned by the necromancer.
The Science Mancer?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
That's what he's trying to destroy.
the Stitcher, whatever you want to call it.
Get her off. Yeah.
Nonetheless, he holds out this book made of flesh, and this is the manual of Flesh Golem. And as he holds it out, Ribdip takes no hesitation in using what the villain has described as powerful claws, destructive claws. And he takes a running jump and slices at the book. And until now, you have had hardly any chance at tearing a page. And this claw simply slices straight through it. As you're watching the aura of magic, obviously it's necromancy to begin with, then suddenly shift to a silver-like aura, and it's glaring, it's bright. It's not just colored silver, it's like a bright light of silver, and it shines out. It doesn't seem like it's coming from the book or the claws. It's just suddenly, as the claw leaves a wound on it, there's this kind of scar of magic over the book. The silver then begins to sort of spread over it, and this is all happening in the space of perhaps a split second. And as the silver spreads over it, the magic item's aura of necromancy suddenly falters, cracks, and that's when you see a visible tear in the pages, ripping all of them down the middle. It's not completely severed in two, but Ribdib doesn't hesitate, and he continues to claw, tearing page after page after page. And wow, that got better and better after each one went. It's like 20, 22, 23. And eventually he claws through each page until he finally gets to the kind of middle of the book, and one last slice through it tears the pages into pieces. And the book weirdly feels kind of like heavier as the magic is getting ripped from it. It feels like it's weighted, like it's made of metal or some stone. Yeah. As you look at the pages, they are all torn up into shreds.
Amazing. Scary and amazing.
There is still just a faint silvery aura around the claws as it finishes tearing. But it seems to fade away. It seems like that only when it came into contact with a magical item did it appear. As you look at the actual claws, they are not magical weapons. But whatever that aura was, it seemed to appear when it tore into.
It's really, really weird. But at least
I do good.
Yeah, you've done great.
He kind of like kicks around some of the bits of pages. Its books smell weird.
The book smells weird.
Yeah, you look down at the book, and of course, it's not really made of plants. This one's made of flesh, and he can obviously smell about that.
So is it in like little shredded pieces?
Shredded, yes, completely.
Is there a porthole to the ship?
You mean like normally people just poop in a bucket or a bowl?
No, like a window, a porthole.
Oh right, yes. Yeah, you got a window.
I've been shitting in people's windows for so long.
I think you were thinking of like a portaloo.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm going
Or a
to
porta potty.
hold the scraps out of the window and then just firebolt them to see if there's no magical aura, if they'll burn into the sea.
Ooh, okay, yeah. The firebolt does seem to tear up the shreds, as if when tearing through it, like you say, the aura was shattered and ripped away from it. And each shred just tears and burns into a little charred flake. Suddenly gets wafted away by the wind. Doesn't even hit the actual ocean. Just seems to dissipate.
Thank God.
And
No one should ever be able to do that. But yeah, that's great.
Okay, now that's next one. Hold out the ropes.
No.
Eh.
No, these are good. This is good magic. This is good magic.
You said no one should ever be able to do that.
No, this'll help defeat Ziggy Leaves.
What is good? What is good magic versus what is bad magic? Kind of like gets confused. It's
Existential crisis.
Yeah.
how you know? How you know it bad?
It's
How-
it depends on what a person can do with said magic. If
He
in the
raises
wrong,
them.
if in the wrong hands, it can do bad.
Cox kind of cocks his head to one side. So you do good with this, and he kind of like points towards the robe.
I aim to, yes.
Couldn't you do good with brick?
I could, but the way it's used would be bad.
It make no sense. But no point arguing now. It gone.
Uh,
Kind of looks at you for a moment, and you swear for a brief second that there perhaps was a sign of intelligence behind his eyes, as he sort of was actually posing, like you say, Carius, a perhaps deeper philosophical question: what is good and bad magic? Who's to say? But nonetheless, he seems to go back to his very primitive dance a moment later as he's scratching his butt, and and then and then starts waddling out the room.
I'd say thank you to him as he leaves.
Yeah.
And then
Alright.
we head over to the group and then we have that conversation about
Sure.
the machine
And then you head over to Kashan.
Yep. For your conversation, we now have Lashawn, our favourite couples moment.
and then we have the Kashan moment.
And
Power.
I've been
Cabellum?
waiting for Llewellyn to come in, and so I'm going to be hiding behind the door.
I've been waiting.
The music seems oddly appropriate at this point. It's quite ominous.
I've waited the hour, and now I'm just hiding behind the door, waiting for Llewellyn to come in.
Right. Roll me a stealth check.
Sure thing.
Oh,
You've
no.
got to be quite a high passive perception.
So I've got quite a good stealth check. Fuck!
No,
Had advantage, you would have.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you start going into your room, you see a pair of shadows at the bottom of the door, signifying feet, and you swear you see a little tail curling around the edge of it.
My room.
Wherever the room
No,
is.
my room.
His room.
I'd knock on the door.
Oh, the
The
door's
sha-
open.
Oh.
In fact, with that stealth roll, you probably knock and he instinctually goes, "Come in." He just kind of like stands up, throws his staff to the side, walks over.
You trying to ambush me?
No. Yes.
Damn my nicety. Damn my politeness.
Anyway, yes, Llewellyn, come in and sit down.
Gotta
If
be
I
careful
come,
with that breathing.
if I come in, are you going to attack me?
Am I going to answer you?
What?
Am I going to answer that question?
Okay, I tiptoe into the room.
No, I just kind of. It's gotten really tense. Holy shit. I mean, it's good. I just kind of go, and now I hit him. I just gesture to the chair in the room.
Why?
And
What
I-
about this chair? What did it do?
I just kind of perch down onto
Sit
the
down.
bed. First of all, you're a dick, and I am still waiting for an apology for sneaking in.
I'm sorry, but
However,
I've shown you my things.
However, I am also kind of thankful that you did, because I think out of anybody, your vast knowledge of things, you might be able to actually understand what it is. By the way, he has no idea about Andy, so I'm truthfully sorry.
Yeah, I didn't do a check on this, but could I do it?
For what now? Sorry.
Because I didn't actually do a check as to whether I would know what this thing is.
What thing? Sorry, I was too busy. I was
my
tooting
ace.
my own horn in the chat.
in the egg.
Oh, the egg, right. Yeah, what exactly are you trying to know about it?
Like, well, Kashan wants to know what it is.
What it is.
Okay.
Partly because I know monsters and beings,
You
and I've
Do you
researched
have
them.
much... Yeah, it seems like you are the monster rancher.
Hey, I just
Um,
called Lavellum weird. I think that is that just sums him up.
Okay. Okay, so tell me exactly, before you roll like the straight arcana, what exactly is it you're trying to determine? Like, I know obviously you're like, what is it? But
Tell you what, do you remember when we were in Kester and I read a book about beasts of the lands? Would I have read anything about it in maybe a book like that?
so Kishan, you're describing the bird-like creature, or you're going off what you saw, Llewellyn. Sure. You can roll me either a nature or an arcana.
Well, I mean, I don't think I really need to explain it to him because he whispered in my ear, "Nice bird." So I kind of got the picture that he's
15. Sort of a low one for you, if anything.
You know what?
Um,
Because it's Kashan and I'll do this for you, I'll use my inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
That's better.
Oh, sorry, Chris, you were saying? Want me to just pull out my bag of holding, yeah?
God. Right. Give me a minute then, because I'm going to have to look it up now, aren't I?
It has an
Meanwhile-
armor class of.
We've had so many situations where using inspiration would have been beneficial, and we use it to check what a bird is.
Hey, it's not just any bird. It's fucking egg
Bird.
bird, mate.
It is Eggbird, yeah.
Yeah, egg bird, yeah. Oh my god. Andy, you're right. We're going to start calling him Eggbird now.
Eggbird.
Is this the inspiration I gave you?
No, I think it was one of the kind of like,
Yeah, not a bardic.
yeah.
No, this is what.
There's just been so many inspirations thrown around, and I did give Llewellyn one a little while ago. That's I'm just confused which one he was using.
Yeah, so it was the same one that I used. It was kind of like a
Yeah.
story time.
It was a DM inspiration that we
Okay.
got when we
I
had the.
really need to do an errata to give that another name because it's so
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah, like a fate dice or something.
Fate dice. Let's call them fate dice going forward.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
A photo.
So yeah,
By the way, just to know, Andy, your bardic inspiration lasts about 10 minutes.
Okay.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is from our tambourine moment when I gave you the tambourine.
Okay.
I've held it for that long.
Okay. Whew. All right. I'm
Been
still
ins-
looking, by the way, so feel free to
I'm curious if Andy would have mentioned anything actually. Of what she said.
Yeah, I'm not sure because Andy, you do recognize.
Yeah, like I said in the chat, she's working on something about
I
that. So yeah, she's just currently in the process of doing it. So I just
Gotcha.
haven't had an opportunity to actually conduct it yet. So
God.
It's a baby Tarask with wings.
That would be so adorable. It's like looked in real life.
And now we have it as our pet.
Yeah,
Not our winged Tyrell.
not our pet, my son/daughter.
Oh my god.
It's where I'm just picturing it as oh, that's the wrong channel. As
Sorry, Chris.
Also,
when you
did
say like
anybody
the baby
see?
Tarask, the Tarask Snuggle Beast.
Did anybody see
I
the
mean-
picture that I put in the Rolf story chat? By the way.
yes, I did. I mean, if you wanted her to, she could come in and do what she was going to do now anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw. If you saw Lavellum walking back into the room, maybe you would have been like, he's trying to get another look, and then run to the window and see us talking with like Egbert just kind of sat there.
Because all she's going to do is she's not going to say a word. She's going to go in, give
Oh, Andy.
Kashan the scroll of paper she was just using, and she's gonna sneak back out again.
What is it? Okay.
And she's basically giving you a very, very badly written letter to say, I'm sorry, but I have seen your bird before, and explain what Chris said earlier. That it's usually a messenger.
I open
But it's
it
like
up.
in really, really bad broken common, so it might take you a little bit to actually understand what she's actually written on there.
Right.
I ritual cast comprehend language to understand.
I just
my
kind of,
God.
I kind of like look at it. Oh, turn it back upside down. No, that doesn't make sense. Ah, I kind of get my candle and try and like angle the light. I can see that.
Because she saw how angry he got when the Velen mentioned he'd seen it, so she was like, okay, I'm gonna do this kind of.
So he kind of like reads that and goes, oh. 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 So what exactly? It was a messenger.
Okay, so
So it's like
Yeah.
a messenger, but it's slightly different from the ones she'd seen.
okay, so
But-
they're an offshoot of like rocks, which would be
Yeah.
you're familiar with already.
Yeah.
Punch one out of the sky almost. And except the ones in the Clawed Coast are nowhere near as fierce and dangerous, but they are quite a large bird. Nowhere near like the 20-foot wingspan the other ones have. But at first, the description seems to match that of the exotic bird, although everything except the fact that it's a stony-like texture with glass-like feathers, that part doesn't seem to match up. And also, you know, there is no like heartbeat coming off of the actual creature, which means this creature is either alive, not alive, or it's some sort of like statue of one or a relic of one, perhaps. You're not sure. Maybe it's a magic item that has been based off of a creature like that. And Llewellyn, you're starting to remember back in the hut you came across figurines of power. The goats of travail, for example.
I have them.
You do. You remember that they were obviously resembling the normal creature, but when summoned, they have completely different purposes. And as you, with the 25, I'll mention that you do know of other figurines of power as well. The owl, there's even an elephant. There are actually ravens and other birds that you can use for a figurine.
I pull out mine like, these are birthed from eggs? What?
What?
Huh.
What do you mean?
Well, it seems that the thing inside may not be alive, and if it isn't, then it might be a version of one of these, but a bird version.
Based
Inside
on...
Kashan is distraught.
Or based on one of these. Or it could be alive.
Inside check.
I mean, there's one way to find out if it is alive.
Are you just trying to be kind to me?
Also, you know that
23.
figurines of power often have a command word that brings them to life. They go from like this little stone statue to suddenly a full moving creature. But each one is possibly unique to the owner, so that only they can command it.
Have I ever known Kashan to use a command word? To use it?
No.
So maybe once it's outside the egg, it has a different feature. Maybe it's the mix
Right.
of the two that gives it this whole special feature.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, But you were asking specifically about what kind of creature it is. And yeah.
Can I now try and figure out what kind of figure it might be?
It looks like a very unique one. In fact, with that roll, you're not sure exactly if this one even is like a traditional figurine of power. It might be something that someone has experimented with, and this is perhaps why it's still like in an egg-like form, because they haven't finished it and they were working on it.
Huh. Now, there's one last thing we can try to see if it is actually a living thing or just a magical item in an egg. And
He's not an item. Or she.
yeah,
But
and
continue.
I because I've seen inside it and I've seen the thing inside it, I cast Rary's telepathic bond between me.
Oh, I'm
Kishkan,
sorry,
and the
Sentinel. He starts casting.
No.
You can't, first of all, you can't sentinel every single thing. You're like,
Yes, I can. If he's attacking a friendly. With
No,
did you just blink? Sentinel.
I'll tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so you can speak to it.
Okay. I can already kind of speak to it.
But then it can speak to you properly if it has some sort of language, be it baby language, bird language, or whatever. Maybe you can find out its name,
That would be nice.
and then I do the ritual.
Okay.
I'll allow you to. Don't worry.
It's called Eggbird now, I swear.
At the end of the ritual,
My name's Boris.
you've been trying to reach out, connect a telepathic bond with the creature, and it doesn't seem as though it perhaps speaks a language. However, you do feel that there is... Jesus, you gotta stop that breathing, dude. You do feel as though... And that smacking. It does feel as though there is a presence there, though. And it feels like you're connected to it, and yet there is no discernible language that it can speak. Okay, dudes, who is...
That's strange. It's definitely alive. But it's also a magical item. This is weird.
You've known magical items to have personalities and such in the past.
So it's like a sentient figurine.
Yes, you've known sentient magical items.
So
I mean, your book is one of them, for example.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like Candlewick.
Sort of, yeah.
Could say so.
Okay. But does... I mean... Candlewick speaks to Irina.
Maybe
I
when
mean,
this hatches, it could speak to you.
It would be nice. The thing is, Llewellyn, that I've never... Well, you know where I came from. You saw my vision of where I came from. That lifestyle is very... It makes you possessive. Very possessive. But back then I was very much... I was possessive of a materialized item. Gold, jewels, trinkets. I was very much like Andy now I think about it. It's like anything that wasn't tied down, it was going to be going into my pocket. But in the nicest way possible. But now it is different. There's something about Eggbird that I feel protective of, that I need to be protective of.
Yeah, it's probably like fatherly instincts.
Somewhat so. It, in a weird way, I guess it's the same way about how you feel about your robes. Which I'm still curious about. Because that to me seems materialistic, but to you it's almost well, natural.
It's my ticket to Terrig. No. I want to meet him and him to teach me, but maybe if he sees that I found this and I found him, he'll want to teach me.
And why is Irina so attached to them as well?
Because she thinks the robes is some sort of anchor for her teacher.
You see, I've actually heard of a legend of something like this. There was once this Goliath of a man. He traveled very, very far distances to this completely abandoned area, bumped into various amounts of strangers, and I'm getting.
Go on.
And they made their way to this place. I can't remember exactly what it was, but within this shack, he found this gold coin. And as the legend says, as soon as he took this coin, he was attached. He guarded it with his life, almost as if something had taken over his mind. And no matter how many times people tried to take it off him, he defended it. And those who tried wanted it as well. That's what
Fuck that coin!
Llewellyn, you're thinking... Llewellyn, at this point, you're thinking, oh great, so the egg has cursed him.
the egg has cursed you, apparently. According to your story.
It's these kind of myth, this kind of magic, I guess, I'm trying to avoid. But I don't feel possessive in I must protect this with my life. Like, it's death or nothing. I feel like I need... It's as you say, it's very much a fatherly thing, a parental protection.
But these
Is that weird?
Yeah. No. Not weird.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean...
No. But yeah, what are you trying to get with the whole possessive thing?
I feel that perhaps... Well, I was kind of worried about maybe those robes might be affecting yourself and Irina.
No, they definitely have reasons behind them.
I don't know, as soon as they got ripped, both of you freaked the flip out. Sorry,
Because
the
they-
little ones here, we can't swear.
The reason Irina freaked out is literally because they're her mentor's robes. Her mentor has gone back in time, and the anchor is what's holding her place back.
Oh no, he knows. He knows.
Okay, so-
Yeah. But these
But
Llewellyn
has
robes-
spouted a lot of shit.
these robes connect us to different people.
And what
So-
exactly is this Terrig? I don't think we've really got a detailed answer. I mean, like, we've never asked about your home place, and I think...
Terrig, when I met him, was in a very dangerous place. And he sort of had the ability to use spells of a time-like nature. And he even helped... Oh my god.
How
No
the
way,
hell
just
did
keep
you
talking.
manage to roll a D100 and get a 0?
No, it was a D00.
Oh god.
Oh! Okay,
No.
sorry, go on.
He also helped a friend of mine pass along when he died.
I'm sorry to hear.
So I have many connections to Terrig, and he said that if I find him afterwards, if I'm still alive, that he would teach me. And I need to become more powerful so I
And-
can protect the people I care about and protect the world from the dangers and the evils.
So you're doing this to bring back your friend? Say yes.
No,
What?
no, he didn't want to come back as much as Elravan didn't want to come back. He passed on gracefully.
Who was he?
God. He was known as Kavar, and he was an Iron Ember of the capital city. He was the top Iron Ember of capital city. And he took down evils of the world like dragons and hags and monsters within a hut of pure corruption. He was very honourable. He was a very close friend.
It's nice to see you have a heart, Llewellyn.
I have a heart. Why do people think I don't have a heart?
Because I think your book has already eaten it.
No,
Yeah,
Only-
not a dragon.
only a dragon's heart.
Which is what you hear in your head, yeah. Like, no, that's Ralhis's. Oh wait. Oh yes, it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, guys. I actually fucking teared up at that. It's so bullshit. Well, I think it's mixed in with the music as well.
But maybe if I can become more powerful, I can stop people from dying who don't need to die, and I can, change the world for the better. Even as creepy and scary as I look sometimes.
Well then, allow me to help you with that journey. If I'm honest, I never really truly understood your motive per se, and I apologize for not coming forward beforehand. But you can understand, like, take us all the way back when you first showed us you've told us it's called the Grimoire of...
I just called it my spell book.
Oh, okay. Your spellbook. Yes, since the day you showed us your book, it has, of course, well, I thought it left a sour taste in my mouth, and yes, it made me distance a bit. However, I'm glad to hear that all this power that you're putting into this, all this effort and all this time is going for a better end. And I'm glad that I think that you're finally able to find yourself. That's very nice.
Yeah. I just don't want to pass away before I can help the world in the way it needs to be helped. And stuff like this, like the robes, it helps.
Well, you're a friend to me, Llewellyn, and
You too.
I'm
Put
sure
my hand on the shoulder.
if this Kavar was your friend and he stood beside you, then perhaps maybe I can be your shield this time.
I mean, I do actually have the ability to create a shield.
Yeah, I know, and I... Yes, and I'll probably deflect things back at you. This is a good friendship, though.
Yeah. We stick together, we can conquer anything.
Exactly. But if you touch my egg, I'm going to give him a quick, like, speedy pat to the stomach, just kind of like flat palm. Just kind of like slightly wind him.
I won't
It will
touch your
hurt you.
egg. Plus, your egg is a magical item. I couldn't put it in my book even if I wanted.
This is very true. Well, I hope you can help me with whatever this task is going to lead me to.
Sure.
Because, if I'm honest, I'm clueless.
Well, maybe if you share your scrolls with some of us, maybe we can work together.
As you say that, you don't know what it's leading you to. You suddenly hear from the crow's nest Finzu above saying, "Captain, something up ahead!" And you hear open of the cabin doors. He's like, "Spyglass." And it's handed to Captain Montybot. Pulls it out, it's looking across. "What is that thing? Another one of those relics? We best avoid it. Either that or sail through it." And you can hear this conversation as everyone's sort of gathering and having a look at what he's spotting. Up in the distance, sticking out of the water, is a large metallic ring. It's like about a semicircle, and it's tilted off at an angle as well, tilted away from the ship. So it's almost as if I'm kind of like passing through it like this. And it looks rusted. You can actually see there are some perhaps gulls like resting atop it as well. And there's a metallic sheen in the sunlight that looks kind of a brass. It's kind of like a bronzy color, like a mottled bronze. But yeah, and everyone's just kind of looking at it. It's big enough that the ship could actually potentially like sail through it, which is odd. Something that big would be, well, it'd take it would take a lot of work to kind of craft something that. And he's like, "I don't know what it is, Captain. We going around?" And he's like, "Yes, hard to starboard. Let's just avoid it. We don't know what is underneath the waves. Could end up going into something far more dangerous." And the ship begins to sort of sail around this thing, and as you're going by, you get a kind of closer look at it. It doesn't look like there's anything else sticking out of the water except just this. It's kind of got one flat. They're flat sides on both. The metal seems to all be, perhaps. Well, it looks like it might be one piece, but you could try and get closer and investigate it if you wanted to. There's a lot of rust over it, and because it's so mottled from James's breathing, that you can't really tell that there's. You can't really tell if there's writings or hieroglyphic.
Can I send my raven out to it?
Yes.
And I'll go into its eyes.
Okay. You do a brand, and you start looking over it. You can roll me a perception check with advantage.
Sweet.
You can also have it roll initiative as it going to 1v1 these goals.
Sorry, perception with
Pokemon.
advantage.
Yes.
That is terrible. Absolutely
It's
terrible.
pretty bad. Whatever was on the side of this metallic ring has since long rusted away. You can't make out anything on it. It would need a lot of what's the word? Reconstructing, repairing. I guess reconstructing.
Oh, I know the word.
1 and a 2, yeah. Pretty impressive.
Hmm.
That's gonna really annoy me now.
But Rip Dip runs up to the side of the boat
Restored.
and like, "Rusty! Big Rusty!" And he's like pointing and getting excited. He sees like Irina's not paying enough attention to it, and then like pokes Irina in the butt. It's like, "Rusty,
She's paying attention.
Okay, if that's the
Wait for
case,
everyone else to finish speaking.
if that's the case, then he's being oblivious that you're paying attention and is just being annoying and tugging on your on your
I'm just
what's
gonna
it?
sort of
tunic.
like use my boot to sort of put him at a distance.
Rusty.
I'm then gonna poke Carius and see if he'll fly me over so I can get a better look.
He grabs a hold of it.
Certainly possible.
As you pull your boot back, you see he's on the boot, and his skin has turned into the same leather. And
Smiley face.
there is a smiley face in his face, like on his head, probably.
I'm like shaking my foot to get him off now. I'm just like, get off.
Wee. You can roll an athletics or acrobatics.
I could set him on fire. How's that sound?
No.
We'll go. What did you say it was? Athletics.
Or acrobatics, either one, yeah.
Acrobatics is fire. We'll go for acrobatics. Ah, crap.
He is stuck on there. He is now your boot.
Wow.
I am boot.
I've got candlewick in my hand. So someone get him off before I force him off.
I'm boot.
What can I even do?
You're an annoying little thing.
Gremlin?
Can I try charm him? Charm monster. Is he a
Certainly
monster?
try.
Is he a monster?
You smell like burning.
Wisdom save.
Sure. God, he fails.
Yeah. Please step away from Irina.
Huh?
She doesn't want you on her foot.
No fun. Kind of just jumps off of the boot, starts walking over to you, and instead hugs your boot, Llewellyn.
No, go.
Your friend.
Yes, we friends.
You need hug.
I heard the captain say that he wanted you to wash the deck. Yeah, go wash the deck.
Okay. I love washing deck.
Right, let's go before he decides to get over friendly. Let's
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with the fact that he was hugging boots.
it's hugging my leg.
Affection, I know.
All right. Well then. Yeah, he continues to swab the deck with a sponge and bucket. You've nearly passed by this. You're kind of just moving slowly, I guess. The sails have gone to half mast, that you can sort of get a closer look at it. Did someone say they wanted to do something?
Yeah,
to the
me
contour of
and
it?
Carius are gonna fly over. Have a look.
That's. Is that on
That's
the
plan.
on the glaive? Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay. Roll me a perception check,
Perception.
unless
Chris,
you
your
want to land
camera's
on it
gonna
and
be-
investigate it.
Yes, I do.
Has Chris's camera gone weird for anyone else? Okay, just checking it's not just me.
Pixely.
Yeah,
It's fine to me.
there we go.
Better.
Okay, so tell me, as you're landing on this solid metal structure, how are you
Wait.
investigating?
So you said it's like a sideways kind of like arch? It's...
Yes.
Okay. And it's rusted basically, you're saying.
It is very rusted, and it looks like it's covered in perhaps a bit of bird crap as well. Like, looks like birds have landed on this, pooped.
Okay,
And
I'm
then-
gonna get Carius to try and just sort of hover. And I'm gonna get out my tinker's tools and I'm gonna try and sort of like, you know when you excavate and you got the brush and the little like instruments to try and I want to see if there's any markings that I can find,
Okay.
or
gotcha.
engravings or even indentations, anything like that.
Okay. Roll me an investigation.
Investigation. 18.
That's pretty good. So, just an 8. All right. So you start pulling out these, like you say, brushes and such, and as you've got tinker tools, I'll say that you've probably got like grease and metal polish as well. And as you start to apply this and wipe away all the grime, the mottled rust and such, you start to clean it up quite well. However, as you're going, if there was any, I guess, designs or paint on this, it's long been stripped away. However, you do start to make out what looks to be the small indent of an engraving. But it's not a language. They are symbols. And they're large and like long. So that you're not like finding something you can read like this big. It seems to be like the start of something circular, like a curve.
So, do I think that maybe this is one piece of a bigger thing?
Yes, you could keep going and scrubbing away. The boat will have to probably stop though to sort of for you to like find where this curve meets up and what it depicts. But you have found at least an engraving that you can start to work on.
Okay.
It might take a bit longer though.
Would you like some help in cleaning it up to make it go quicker?
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest that if you can get over here.
I'll...
I have the perfect idea for that. Who casted
Ow.
levitate?
Me.
Cast levitate on him.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can fly.
And
Oh, if he can fly on his own, I don't need to.
cast levitate.
Oh my god.
What do you
Kashan wants
say?
to throw him.
Oh my god.
So you cast it?
What's the magic word?
Please.
Okay.
Can I sneakily cast fly on myself? So when he goes to throw me, I can pretend like he's actually chucking me.
I mean,
Why should I waste my spell?
Oh, fine then. Fine.
I can only do this once.
Oh, is it like yeah?
once
Okay.
per day. Yeah.
God damn it, Kashan.
Alright, she casts levitate. She gets the violin out and she starts playing tune.
I don't like this. I don't feel like I'm in control.
I want to hit Llewellyn with a key empowered strike and push him back.
Roll to hit, I guess.
No.
You do realize he has no gravity right now?
Hell yeah!
He just had a real nice, heartfelt talk,
15.
and now you're punching him in the face,
Hey, I still haven't got my payback.
and you missed.
Did I? God damn it. There we go.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
So you see Kishan rush towards you, pop, pop. You quickly dodge out the way of the first one, but then the second one pushes you right into the ribs, up, and then boom, you feel yourself suddenly launch back. Yeah, Rip Dip turns around, he's like, no! And immediately turns to you, Kishan. You hurt best friend!
He's still calmed. He's still calmed.
Oh, no. No,
Rip Dip friend!
He's fine.
Our
No,
friend,
he's fine.
best
He's fine. He's fine. I'm going to start climbing up.
Yeah!
Andy, help me! Just
He
like,
slices at your displacer cloak,
To do this?
no. No.
but
No.
you do dodge out of the way and you
Oh,
climb up the
thank
mast.
fuck.
Yeah, it was all fun and games until you so you start pissing off Rip Dip. He starts
Mhm.
climbing up the mast after you.
Doesn't he have
Come
multi attack? Doesn't he have multi attack?
He does, but
Attack
I'll say he
Trinity.
only took one swing before Kishan kind of like,
Andy, help!
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Tell him the magic word.
You just hear Llewellyn as he shoots away. I'd control him, but I'm out of the distance now.
The thing is, unless someone catches him or something, he's just gonna keep going.
Finzu's up here and he's like,
Until the
"Ah,
spell runs out.
what's all the commotion?
Okay,
What-
I'll mage hand to try and stop Llewellyn when he gets close.
This was so worth it.
Kishan,
wait.
as you're trying to, before you have a chance to just explain what's happening to Finzu, a dart comes flying past you. Hold on, what's your AC? 16, 17, damn. So the displacer cloak still managed just to avoid it. So suddenly there's a shimmer, and another Kishan is standing next to you with a dart in his neck. And then suddenly that shimmers away again.
What were you going to say, by the way, Andy? I saw you were going to say something.
You do realize that now we cannot do the flying kitty move
No!
until tomorrow.
It's okay. I think this boat trip might take a little bit of time, so I can wait, but this was so worth it. I needed my payback.
To be fair, I'm just gonna let myself propel to see how far I go.
Oh my god!
You finally get a dart straight between the eyes.
Deflect missile.
No.
But
Wait,
I'm not going to spend a key point
Sure.
point
You
for
catch
a bang.
the
I just
catch the blow. You catch the dart between your teeth, like Ace Ventura style. Like, ting. And yeah. Meanwhile, you stop the flying wizard with your mage hand, and he comes to a rest in the air, just slightly off from where you wanted him to be, because the levitate spell just sort of keeps you aloft.
Alright, you clean that side, I'll clean this side, we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah, so every 6 seconds I just prestidigitate 5 feet of it and just keep going.
Sure. All right then.
Oh.
Carius will aid with shape water washing off bits.
Okay, sure. All of you working together then. You start to clean up this huge bronze ring. And let's just... Okay. So, this curve starts to go back on itself, forming a circular kind of motion, and it seems like it's created like a sphere of some sort, or a circle even, but the engraving seems to have like another curve on the inside of it as well, sort of denoting it might be spherical or depicting a sphere. And as you finally finish the whole thing, you realize that it's a circle with a crescent moon on the inside of it. And that is just one. And it seems to fit along the ring, so or like a picture.
Is it going to be like the phases of the moon all the way around it?
Exactly. To get it. Yeah, got it. Right, so
Does
there's
this-
another...
Does this go into the water at all?
Yes, the whole ring is submerged in the water. It's only like half out.
Does it look like it might be some sort of teleportation circle?
Teleportation circles usually have runes, arcane runes
There's no
on them.
runes.
These are not runes, but definitely starting to picture these depictions of
Is there anything else?
the moon.
Is there anything else under the water if we stick our head under? Maybe there's like some sort of structure underneath the water.
Yeah, you haven't tried that yet. Can do if you want.
Yeah, I'll go under the water, I guess.
Okay.
I will say before you go any further, I've got to go to bed because I've got work tomorrow, so I will
Oh yeah.
see you guys later.
yeah, same.
Okay. No worries. We'll be wrapping it up in about 2 or 3 minutes. So you're gonna go underneath the water, right? Who's
Yeah.
going underneath? Everyone. You just levitate down and beneath the wave.
Oh god, yes.
I mean, you can do that. because you can go up and down. But
I
anyway.
literally jump off like the structure, grab Lavella, and just wee!
Oh no!
Cannonball!
Cool. Yeah, you feel the weight suddenly pull you towards the waves and
This is not a good
Splash
day
into
for
them.
old Llewellyn.
and as you're trying to see down below the waves, again, just as murky and rusted, but nothing a quick prestidigitation can't solve. And as you wipe away some of the rust, you start to make out another sort of symbols on the inside of the ring as well. And you've been kind of like on the top, polishing away, trying to find what the sun is shining on. But this seems to be different from the other one. And I'd like you to roll me an intelligence check. Anyone who's witnessing this. So, Llewellyn or
Irina.
Irina,
Carriers probably would have gone down as well. 'cause-
then Carrie.
Just straight intelligence.
Yes.
Hey.
Ooh,
Oh man.
we matched.
Irina,
Whoop, 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 whoop.
this isn't just a moon cycle. And Llewellyn, this isn't just a cycle of the sun either. It's almost like it's both. And this is perhaps something odd because this ring alone can't really tell you much. It's just a ring with a cycle on it. But you perhaps start to think, Irina, you've seen not just one of these rings, but multiple make up something that can help you align the date of something in conjunction with the bodies, the celestial bodies of the sun and moon. And what you notice is, if this is a rusted piece of ruin, then there must be something this big somewhere else that it's fallen off of. Because as you go underwater, there is no sign of any ruin or any kind of machinery or anything like that. It is simply one huge metal rusted ring that has perhaps...
So, in theory, obviously saying the jungle is sort of overgrown, there's potential that it's kind of overgrown whatever it was attached to and has kind of knocked it off.
Exact.
This looks like it could be a piece of the actual temple itself.
Yep.
It-
And yeah, go on.
It's
that-
definitely a piece of something.
So maybe we're somewhere underneath the temple.
With the natural 20, I'll give you one last piece of information. Knowing that this is just a piece of a larger whole, this could be something like you've researched before, a magical item, or maybe it's not a magical item, but more just an item that is used by wizards and the such. It could be an armillary sphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
An
I don't know what that is, but
no, sure.
apparently Irina does, so.
They are known as spherical astrolabes, or an armilla or amil. Basically, they are a model of objects in the sky in a celestial sphere, consisting of spherical framework of rings centered on, you'd appear mostly be Earth or the material plane, and that represents lines of celestial longitude and latitude and other astronomically important features,
Okay, yeah, I know what you're on about.
such as the eclipse.
Okay.
It's quite complicated stuff, but I guess the closest human variation is an orrery. Have you heard of those?
I know what you're on about. But I don't know what they're called, so that can't
Yeah.
help.
Right,
Um,
sure.
The kind of thing that shows the solar system almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of, but no. It's
Try-
more than that.
Try chucking me upwards and see what I can see directly above this.
I'd just literally let go, and I imagine he just goes, wee!
Yeah,
Yep, you're gonna float over.
I'll float up and see what I can see on the islands above from where we are.
Okay, so you can only fly up a certain limit, I think. Levitate.
I'll cast fly then. And I'll go up,
If I have to.
if I have to. and I'll go all the way up until I'm above the islands and see what I can see. Directly above, because this would have fallen off somewhere. Maybe the island's moved, but maybe the island has a rotation, so maybe it comes here at some point. If it is
Yeah,
up them.
that's very true. It could rotate like a celestial body itself. Anyway, so
Did you say
as you begin to
looked
fly
heavy?
up, you start to disappear into the clouds, and Llewellyn is gone. And Llewellyn, all you have a complete and utter whiteout. And as you're going higher and higher, I'd like you to roll me a D100.
Oh.
We don't get lost up there.
Ooh.
Straight in the middle.
Yeah, straight in the middle. I mean, I'm just going directly up.
Okay, weird. You suddenly smell the scent of rotten fish
Up in the. Okay.
as you're going through these clouds. Yes, and
Skyfish.
yeah. Suddenly there's a slap on your face, like as you feel like something was wet, something was like slimy, just slapped your face. You have no idea what the hell that was.
Can I try and catch it?
Sure, roll me a deck save.
Sure. I will try and. I want to try and see what it is. Flying fish.
Oh, natural
Oh my God, yeah.
20.
You suddenly
What?
catch this thing out of the air and you're like, oh, what the hell was that? Oh, you like rub your cheek a bit as it's a bit bruised. And as you hold up this thing, it looks like a half regurgitated fish. Like it's completely rotted through, slightly dissolved by stomach acids. And it smells like the deepest recesses of someone's throat.
Skyfish.
And that is when you hear the belching.
I'll fly back down.
And something is puking down. You're suddenly besought by another dozen rotten fish slapping you in the face. And you hear an almighty...
Oh no.
that is where we will end tonight's session. Oh man.
It's a flying whale.
Or
It's a-
Boss Nass, you're not
God.
sure. But either
what?
way, we will end tonight's session there. Hope you had fun. It was more of a chilled out journey, sort of traveling session, relaxing, all cool, beatboxing on the ship. But yeah, it was a nice downtime to sort of bond together and have some real character interaction. But yeah, we'll find out exactly what Llewellyn just flew nearly up and into next session. But we'll be back same time next Friday. You can also catch us live on Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT for Baba Yaga's Dancing Hut, the Witch Hunters, and again on Monday we're with the Curse Breakers at 7 p.m. GMT. And straight after that, Tomb of Annihilation with the Last Resort Company. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll all see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.